So I just prepared a presentation so that you keep the key points there. Nothing much fancy presentation out there. Uh, Vivek told me to keep it the informal way or just throw some points. No, sorry, Vidyadhar told me just to highlight some of the points. How do you transition from college to industry or something what employers look out for? Okay. Uh, in that fashion, that's what. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So there are three main aspects I want to talk about today. Okay. So what I've seen through my journey oh, by the way, just an intro before we move on. So I co-founded Codemonk. So we built software solutions in the domain of AI, blockchain, and enterprise applications. So we work with some of the Fortune 500 companies like Unilever and some few more, and like publicly listed companies as IndiaMart, and a lot of startups as well. So we help them build a product tech stack right from scratch. So that's on a higher level. Throughout this journey, it's been more than 1 year now. So we have noticed a lot of things in hiring, or even the things that we have noticed from the newcomers that we see. So that's something I am summarizing in a few points out there. Okay. So first thing I advise everyone is, like pack your bags properly. Okay. So what I mean by packing your bags is like get your skill sets ready. Okay. I've seen a lot of people complaining, saying that I'm not getting proper jobs, or I'm not getting placed, or uh, I was under, even I am not a very veteran industry veteran. I was seeing, even I have been through your phases. I've seen like people complaining about, like, maybe even I was in that phase, like, yeah, there are not many jobs out there in the world, for where we can join or something. Maybe like that was the perception. But I would say it's totally wrong. There are plenty good amount of jobs out there. What the employers face is that we don't find the right talent. Okay. It's always, I say, we are always not finding the right talent. That's the first scenario. Okay. Jobs are plenty much out there. Okay. So on this perspective, what I would like to say is like always pack your bag in such a manner that you're ready for the industry. Okay. So when I say this, what I mean is like get your skill set ready. Okay. When I say skill set, that what I would like to mention is like let's say for Django or anything, right? You say Django, don't get satisfied by what you have learned. You have to go extra mile. Okay. Always understand what you have learned properly. Okay. Get the basics right first. The first thing is like get the basic foundations strong. Many of them try to build the knowledge base on a very weak foundation that affects you very badly. Okay. Whether it's database or something. The problem is like in colleges, we haven't been taught the way it should be taught. It's like there's a database that needs to be taught. I'm teaching it, and this is how it is. Okay. We never have been taught what's the purpose. Okay. What's the purpose of why we are learning something? If we have brought that purpose while teaching, we would have learned it in a very better manner. Okay. So understand the purpose of why you are learning certain things. That will help you build a strong foundations. Once those foundations are in, then what I want you to do is like go deeper into the subjects. Okay. So you learn during your full stack maker course like Django or anything else, right? Go deeper. Question anything you are using Django what? Understand the underlying inner workings or anything. Let's say or Python. Python does something certain way. Question it. Okay. Develop that curiosity. Don't just say, oh, I'm supposed to do this way. This works. Don't get satisfied by that level. Always have that hunger to go deeper, understand those points, or understand the inner workings of how a certain thing works the certain way. Okay. So develop that curiosity, gain a in-depth knowledge, and always keep polishing your skills. Okay. The reason I'm saying is like, for an example, okay, what distinguishes a good student from a bad student is this skill set. Okay, the true skill set. If I see a lot of resumes every day. Okay. Let me tell you my most recent example. So we hired for machine learning engineer. So within 2 days, since machine learning is boom, within 2 days I was flooded at like I was being within the posting itself, like within 1 hour I received 30 resumes. Okay, within 1 hour. Okay, within 10 days, like after I started initial paper screening and all, within 10 days the resume count had gone up to 150. Okay. Now if I start looking at those resumes with people who I haven't interacted, everyone I would like, see the same set of things like TensorFlow, SciPy or whatever, all those things, okay. So what distinguishes a true skill is now the project that you built or something that you have mentioned there. So have you gone that extra mile, or have you truly understood what is it, or have you just copy pasted another project from the web or something? So I look out for that true skill set, okay. So it's, if you have learned some skill particularly well, you will demonstrate that as well. That's what I believe. So always go that extra mile, okay. That's what, like, the reason I brought up the resume thing is like everyone looks same on the top level, but how is that you distinguish yourself on a very broad perspective, okay. So to summarize about this thing, to get your skill set ready, always have good basic foundations of whatever you are learning, and finally, go in depth and have that curiosity always, okay. So that's about getting ready. So this is one of the main problems that I have noticed. Next thing I have seen is like you guys are good at some technical level, okay. Everyone learns now. You have learned Django, good, you learn. Given an industry problem where you fail at certain points is like having that problem solving capabilities, developing that analytical skill set, or thinking in terms of approaching a problem, okay. Everyone has learned Django, but there you will fare at different levels, okay. So if I give you a problem, you need to analyze or think, or why you, or how do you approach that problem. Everyone knows Django, but how do you go there? At the end of the day, what matters the most is like how you solve a problem for an industry, whichever company you end up in. It doesn't matter you use Django or Spring or anything, okay. No one cares about it. That's maybe a technical, detailing out there. But how good you solve that problem. Maybe Django suits better in certain case, Spring suits, that's a technical decision. But what ultimately matters is that problem solving capability. How good did you solve that problem? Like what was the best solution that you could provide? So when I say this, given a problem, try to understand or analyze. This is the general skill which we have never taught in our whole 4 years of engineering. That teach all the rubbish things that we never need. But yeah, so this is some skill that you should be developing yourself. Think one of the better ways to look at this, I would say, like the way you did your capstone project or something. Take up some hobby projects, few more going ahead. Think in terms of as a problem, or how do you approach it. This will help you streamline your process, okay. So think in terms of solving a particular problem, okay. Once you have developed those skill sets, this is all about how you apply that knowledge in a beautiful and in a best manner possible out there to solve a particular use case, okay. So always have that analytical approach, or develop that kind of a brainy thing to get a problem solved, okay. Yeah. So the next main thing is, I see a lot of people fussing around is like, once you get into the industries, like you guys fail a lot at managing yourself, okay. Forget about managing things around you. You like run haphazardly. That is very much important, especially in startups, okay. Maybe in bigger companies, there's the single person to do a single process. In startups, what happens is like you will be entrusted with with a whole bunch of responsibility. It will not just be a singular responsibility. You will be running, let's say for engineering, you will be running right from writing code to maintaining that, right from development to DevOps, and much more ahead, okay. So in this case, what I say when I become a manager is like, try to organize your workflow, okay. Don't run haywire, okay. Keep all things organized, whether it's your not desk or something, but right from your code development or anything. Maybe you have structured things in your project for a project level, which is good right now. But now think in terms of industry, or how do you write a code that you can, make it better in another 5 years, or maybe in a 6 months. So think in terms of that, okay. How do you manage those things, what you're building out there, or manage your workflow or your timelines and all those things. So yeah, so those are the 3 key aspects that I wanted to highlight from the people who have seen in the past 1 year. So these are the 3 main aspects, like get your skill set right, and then finally develop that problem solving capabilities, and finally becoming that good manager out of it. Yeah, so those are the key highlights what I wanted to highlight. So that's it on a brief level, what I like to see out in people whom I interview or something, or at least whom I like to work with. Uh, I think even Sanjeev can throw some light on it. So I always remember his story. Like he said, like I felt like I have finished learning Django, but he has maintained projects of many scale for us. Okay, he developed Skylark tech platform for us, and he himself has been amazed at many times, saying like, I thought only Django is this much. Like then he has learned so many things after that. Like it's a very vast field out there. Okay. So that's one thing, you shouldn't be satisfied. Have that hunger always there. So keep that in mind. And I think on technical aspects, he would be the right person to out there. And he recently also open sourced a Python package. So many of you by using pip install. He has moved on to a place wherein he has developed a package wherein, for an enterprise client, where someone can use that pip install and do some package installation. So that's the transition and that's the opportunity out there. So on that, I've seen him very closely. Okay, so we have been like more like friends than anyone. Like, so I've been interacting with him from day one. So there's a huge gap. I think he will be the right person on technical to throw light on technical aspects. So just don't get satisfied out there. We have shared a lot of problems and all. We have worked on that. The foundations and all. We have something we have noticed a lot in common. So when I say all those things, to recall certain items, like not from his experience, from others whom I have interacted with, you might have learned now Heroku only on a usage perspective, but you have never understood what it is, right? So have that, like what is it doing or what is, it was good for project, now go some extra mile, understand what it was. Like I have seen a lot of people, okay, like they never understood the difference between GitLab or GitHub or something. They thought it all as the same, okay. So that's how it is. Whenever you understand, I know some of you might not know even, but it's good, go and learn now. So understand what it is, what exactly it is doing. So have that in-depth knowledge, okay. So that's the main thing. And it has happened a lot, okay. The reason I'm able to connect with you or understand what your problems are, I have toured with TCS some time ago with our startup. We were spreading some AI awareness out there as an AI education initiative then. Just to recall an example, I think it was A3 or some college, but we walked into classroom. We were supposed to give us on general talk. Session was going on convolutional neural networks. Session had almost ended. The lecturer walked out. People hadn't even grasped a single amount of it. That's how bad the education system is. But that's another day to comment on. Don't get left out by that. But there's good opportunity to learn outside. Okay, I think Speckbit is doing a great job in that. I should congratulate Vidyadhar on that. Nothing kind of cross promotion. That's something true. I have always respected him for that. So always see out for the resources out there. There's good to learn. Have that curiosity mind developed, and I think you'll be good there. Don't worry about the jobs and all. Jobs will come your way if you have the right skill set. Okay, people are dying there to hire top talent. Okay, everyone is fighting out there. Only people who talk about, there are no jobs or something are ones who don't have the right skill set, but they don't really realize that they don't have the proper skill set. If you're rejected for a particular interview, it's because you didn't fit that job role or you didn't have the skill set. Don't tell that there aren't enough jobs out there, okay? Cool. All the best for your careers. I'm there here. If you have any questions, you can. It's kind of a long journey. So we three co-founders were basically always had something in our mind that we wanted to do on our own. So we had our web design company in our second year of college as well. So it dates back way back then. So we always wanted to do something on our own. We never wanted to take up the normal jobs, something like that. But finally year came and like our parents weren't happy with our ideas. They wanted us to go out there, like join the companies out there. We already had placement offer. Even I wasn't keen. I was at IISc as a researcher there. So everyone was forced into, take up that corporate jobs. We ended up there. But also in the midway, we want to do higher studies. I was very keen about doing some research and all. So even that happened. But finally, we started realizing our situation. Like we had been in companies for almost close to 1 year. Suhas was in Seagate. My other co-founder Akshay was in Accenture. Uh, so we had been almost 1 year. We knew that we wanted to quit our jobs one day and start something on our own. But we said like, let's finish our studies once again, come back, because we were never satisfied with what we learned in our engineering days. We wanted a true education where we could improve ourselves on our own. That's something we will felt always worried about. So even that was going on. Meanwhile, we started analyzing. We again had those Bangalore meetups that day. We started analyzing, like as we go ahead, our responsibilities would increase and we wouldn't have the right freedom again. So we said, let's drop our education plan and all. So we decided and we started brainstorming. We put our papers again, and the initial idea we started working was on STEM products. So we started out building programming toolkits for uh, kids out there to learn programming and all. So we started out with that, but the problem is we were very enthusiastic about problem uh, more than the business aspect. So when you run a startup, it's important to have a good idea and also the business aspects of it. So there were a lot of market analysis we found after the later stages during the 3-month cycle, and we found that idea wasn't sustainable. And finally, something that we had been doing that second year, that's web design studio we had. So we said like we should be pursuing that back again with the revamped strategy and all. So that's when we ended up, like, we pivoted our business idea from education STEM product to Codemonk, what it is today. So yeah, that's how we ended up. So idea was. There have been a lot of modifications along the journey as well. The realizations have helped us shape our story, our servings as well. So as I said, like it's not a joke for a company, bigger Fortune 500 company to work with us on such a small scale. So that's how it is. Like mainly we revamped our strategy then, and also that has been paying efforts. So other thing I would say, like a Codemonk is what is because of the quality of the products that we build out there. So we never compromise on that, and I push the same for everyone entering Codemonk as well. Uh, so I proudly say that like 95% of our clients have come back to us again for second time of engagement or again. So that's mainly purely because of the quality of work that we have maintained and the kind of product perspectiveness that we have brought in. Whenever we are interested with a job, we just don't say, you are told me this, I've done this, take this order. We own that product, we build it for them, we put in our vision, we put our energy and soul into it and build out a product. That's what translates into a good product, and at the end of the day, and they are happy and they come back. So that's how the journey has been on a higher level. Talking about the start, that's how it is. Like we pivoted, and yeah, we had this thing in our mind earlier. So even our college clubs were very active. More than the college, we learned a lot through our college clubs. So that's when we picked up our HTML, CSS skills and many stuff. And yeah, so those things have helped us a lot. And so that's what has branched out into our ideas now, whether it's machine learning or AI. We worked on, in our college days, we had partnered with Microsoft then. So Microsoft funded us a project on building personal robots and also that AI thing and also. Even I am an EC engineer, but more fond of like robotics or AI part of it. So all those things we picked up on like internet or doing online courses and all those things. So yeah, so those things during the college cycle, the clubs and all helped us sprout our startup idea. Yeah.
Walk me through your research, like when you're researching whether it's a product market fit or when you're learning something new, how do you research what to pick?
Mine is like a little bit hatke. I don't go by industry standards or something. The skills I have picked up is always things I'm fond of. So I proudly say that mathematics was my first love, and it's still my first love. So I enjoy any subject that has mathematics on a natural way. Second natural thing was like Python. Okay, Python became my most loved programming language. The reason being, I was taught C in the first year. Second year, through my clubs and all, I got acquainted with Python. Uh, so Python helped me realize that thing, like I could develop anything out there. You tell me a game, you tell me a web, or anything out there in the world. That's something I could connect with Python, okay, on a very high level. So that skill I picked up. So I started experimenting a few things. During initial days, I got acquainted with OpenCV and Python bindings. So that whole lot, opened up a new world there. So it was always due to that curiosity or something, that helped me. Like I never see like, oh, AI isn't in the trend that will help me fetch a good package. Should learn that. I don't do that because I know that even if I pick up a skill which is good and paying good in the market, I might not be happy with doing that. So it's always been kind of love or something that I do. So I take care of machine learning division at Codemonk now. So machine learning has been natural to me because mathematics is there, or that statistical or analytic thinking or deriving insights from data gives me a kick. So those kind of subjects or something. Maybe RPA tomorrow has something that gives me a good kick. I might pick up that as well. So something on a high level, I pick up things that interest me more than getting ready for the industry or for a job. I believe in picking up skills that I love and I can live with and help build on that. I am pretty much sure that if I'm applying for a job, I can find people who are in need of that skill. Okay. I shouldn't be doing things which I am not fond of. So that's all. Yeah. Yeah.
When you told us about focusing on the UX,
Mhm.
what do you stress on?
So before we go on to UX, the main thing what I would like to say is like always understand the difference between UI and UX. Okay. So when I say UX, right, there are a lot of techniques out there, right, from research to card sorting. There are technical terms in UX. So when I say UX is like you're placing certain buttons or at certain point. Does that really make sense, or are you solving that problem, or is it really? Always think in terms of user, not you as a developer there. Okay. Let's say you're building that music app, what you're saying. You shouldn't be building that or coding that as a developer. Understand as a user. Think in that angle, okay? Think or connect in that angle. Like, okay, the final goal is to create a playlist. How can I make that experience seamless? Is it a pain point to again share that playlist to that central portal or something? Or can I make that experience seamless, like just in a click? Okay, something of that sort. Now you came up with a very good like single page application. So why didn't you think of multiple pages? So something like reasoning behind it, or like always understand the problem at the first part. So that's what on a higher level UX. If you go deeper, there are many techniques to rectify this, but that's too much for now. But what I would say, like on a very broader level, like think in terms of the end user you are building a product for. You will solve most of the problems out there. So that's it then. It was nice to see fresh faces out there, and it's been a pleasure. All the best for your future.